is. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Picks and Ponies, episode 344. It is opening day at Keeneland. Thanks for joining us here on this taped episode as we're going to preview the huge day of racing this Friday, opening day at Keeneland, one of my favorite meets of the year. We're going to discuss the late pick 5 sequence and what a sequence it is. Make sure you follow me on X there at H. Kravitz. You can email scrolling at the bottom of the screen, hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. You can also listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We've got great Power Pick tip sheet. Look below the video player. Details are in there. Click the Show More button, and you can check out the very profitable, inexpensive Power Picks tip sheet. And also, we have a great website, hhhracingpodcast.com. But without further ado, let's jump right in to what I believe is a fantastic sequence. And Keeneland Racecourse, they always put on a great show every single year. They've got lower takeouts. They have a $3 all-turf. Pick 3 is back again. They've loaded the takeout on the daily doubles. I love Keeneland Racecourse. It's always a challenge, and this sequence is very challenging. Let's take a look at it right now. It starts Friday, race 6. Again, the late pick 5. It starts at about 3:40 Eastern time with the Lafayette Stakes. $400,000 purse on the dirt, restricted for 3-year-olds, 7 furlongs. It is a small field, relatively small field of 8, but a very talented one. The morning line favorites, the number 5, Booth, for Asmussen and Rosario, who completely freaked at Keeneland, and I was actually there for his debut. He was absolutely spectacular in that race. He's going to repeat that. You're going to see picks on the bottom of the screen. I just want to be clear to everyone. Paul Halloran, my wonderful co-host, was planning on being here for this taped episode, but he had a family issue to deal with, and he cannot make it. But you will see Paul's picks there on the bottom of the screen. We're going to go with the West Point runner, and I have some connections out with West Point Thoroughbreds, which I'll be talking about on our live show this Thursday. So check out the live show, episode 345. And if you don't check it out live, please watch as a replay, as we'll be previewing the fantastic Saturday late pick 5, including the $1 million Bluegrass Dornock versus our boy Sierra Leone. Anyway, we are both going to go with the 2 here, Scatify. And I'm really interested in this horse. Scatify had a brutal trip last time at the beginning of the race at Santa Anita. You may remember it was only a 4-horse field, and I'll bring it up. Hector Barros was riding, and you'll see what happens here is on the inside in the West Point Thoroughbred colors are in the yellow, and he just a disaster. He checked badly, bumped, steadied, just was absolutely awful. This race is complete. Watch it one more time. He's a little bit rank. He just got into a bad spot here, and you can see just total disaster. And after that, he really didn't do any running. You can completely toss out that effort. I like the turn back for this horse. I think he's really talented. I've not spoken to the West Point Thoroughbred people about Scatify. I liked his effort 2 back when he faced a monster and Nisos. He was pressed the whole way, but he won his career debut at Los Alamitos going 6. And I have a feeling that's going to be the strategy. Irad takes over, which means he's going to be a little bit over bet. I think he's just going to stalk on the inside. There's plenty of speed to his outside with Doncho, and there's Booth, of course. Glenn Gary is a very fast Iowa bred, so there's plenty of speed to his outside. I'd like to see Irad just sort of sit in the pocket there and wait. I love the turn back. He's been working well. He's obviously ready to go. It's an aggressive spot. I like Scatify, so does Paul. So we're going to go with Scatify at 7-2. Booth is obviously a very likely candidate. I have a small question about the 7 furlongs. We'll see. He's really talented. He won very well rating last time in the slop. So that is certainly a feather in his cap. He doesn't have to be on the lead. He is absolutely a threat. The horse I have in second, I think is a bit interesting, is Who Day Now, Who Day is going to have to improve. He's one of the few closers in this race. He's been working very well. He's going to sit outside the speed. I'm not worried about distance for Who Day, and you're going to get a price. Maybe not on top, but at least underneath. He is coming off a layoff. He has to improve. He's an Ohio bred. How about an Ohio bred and an Iowa bred in this very highly sought race? But you know what? I'm going to take a chance with Scatify here at a bit of a price to upset Who Day, the number 7 to me, a very interesting price play as well, at least underneath. Let's go now to race 7, the second leg of the pick 5. It is an optional allowance, $100,000, 6.5 furlongs for the restricted 3-year-old fillies. And you can see it is a big field of 12. The morning line favorite, the number 9, Amor Fati, for Jose D'Angelo and Luis Saez, who absolutely freaked last time. He was very impressive. Excuse me, I need to have a drink. She was very impressive in her debut. Can she win again? Of course she can win again. Let me refresh this so we can get the picks up here. Of course the 9 can win again. But you know what? She's coming in from Gulfstream. She has only one work. I found the work pattern a little bit strange. She worked well after the February 11th work. She, down at Palm Meadows, 49, and then real nice 48 breeze. But then she's off for 3 weeks and has a slow work on the turf. That is just, I don't know. That's a little weird. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe she's got some feet issues. I don't really know. I don't love that. And that's a little strange. I don't know if Jose D'Angelo took over between March 9th and March 27th. I don't know when that exchange occurred. That work pattern to me is a little bit weird. There's also other speed in the race, and she just got an easy lead, and I don't think it was the strongest field. I don't know. She's going to be a low price here. I'm going to try to beat her. You see our picks on the bottom of the screen. I'm going to go with the 2 horse here. The number 2 is going to be a price, but there's a few things I like about the number 2, Harbor Springs. Greg Foley is an excellent horseman. Tyler G takes over. He has been leading rider at Keeneland lately, so that is a feather in his cap. He does not need to have the lead. He won last time by 6. Maybe it was the slop. I don't know. I'm guessing it was not. He's been working great, and I love the fact that they shipped this horse, this filly, to Kentucky early, and she had a bullet work at Churchill, 46. Wow, she was feeling great a week ago. Obviously, this race is at Keeneland, it's not at Churchill. I just like the fact that they shipped this filly in early. I think she's very well meant. I think she can improve, and she's 10-1. So I'm going with a price there. I do have the 9 second, and I have another bit of a fuzzy in third, and Buttercream Babe, who I don't know how she's going to run on the dirt. I just find it fascinating that Michael Maker, who is an excellent trainer, mainly on the turf, but he can certainly have a dirt horse ready, decides to switch this filly to the dirt. She's been working on dirt. She's going to get a nice, comfortable trip from the outside. This is Joel Rosario. I don't know. This is a very interesting runner to me. Buttercream Babe, another price shot there. So I'm going to go 2, 9, 11 in race 7. Paul's going to go 10, 3, 12. He's got the number 10 Roswell on top for his buddy Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado. He's maybe a bit biased, but the horse is nice coming in from Gulfstream. Let's go on to race 8. Race 8, the Transylvania Stakes, to me is one of the toughest races on paper I've seen in a long time. I almost never say use the all button. This race is absolutely impossible. Let me also say there's been quite a bit of rain this week in Lexington. The non-turf stake races, the non-stake races that are on the turf might be off the turf. We'll see. This particular race is scheduled for the turf, and it's a stake race. I'm assuming race 8 is going to stay on the turf. We'll see. It's a Transylvania. It's a grade 3 mile and a 16th for the 3-year-old colts. $400,000 is the purse. And boy, this is like I said, a very tough field, a field of 12. There's also 2 AEs. They're not main track onlys. They are 2 AEs meant for turf. The Moorline favorite is a very soft one. It's the number 6, First World War. Brendan Walsh, Tyler Gaffleone. I had this horse, if you follow the show, when he won at Gulfstream. He can certainly win this race. I don't have him in this race. You can see on the bottom of the screen for those of you that are watching. I am going 8-5-1. Paul is going 11-6-10. We have 6 different horses in our 1-2-3s. That's how difficult this race is. I'm going to go with Musical Act for Charles Appleby and Frankie Dettori coming in from Maidan. Now, in my opinion, well, it's really not an opinion, it's a fact. Charles Appleby had a rough 2023 in the United States. And I just have a feeling he's going to have a big year this year, partially because of that, partially because he's sending a bunch of horses here to Keeneland this weekend. And I think they're well meant. The number 8 Musical Act ran into a very nice horse the last 2 times in Dubai at Maidan, and a horse named Legend of Time. I like what he did last time. He finished a solid second, got an 86 time form rating that only transforms to somewhere around a low 70 to mid 70. I got a feeling that number's a little bit low. I think he's going to improve quite a bit. And what I like about Musical Act also is he does have tactical speed, which you wouldn't know unless you watch the replays. So I don't think it's going to be too far back. I'm hoping the possible wet turf is not a problem for him. He is Irish bred on the male side, a British bred Dubawi. Dubawi was Ireland. The Damn Poetic Charm was British bred. Anyway, European breeding. I think that he'll handle a little bit of moisture in the surface, and Frankie Dettori is riding. I like Musical Act to the number 8 at 9-2. My second choice is a complete fuzzy. Tennessee, the number 5, Windstar Farms, Brad Cox, Jose Ortiz. I watched his last race at Turfway. I like the way he did it. This is a Justify colt out of a Smart Strike mare, Zinze. So the dam side, Zinze was a turf horse. The dam side is certainly turf. Moon Over Miami is a horse some of you might know. Mose was another turf horse. So this horse has plenty of turf breeding, and he costs $1.2 million. He has to improve, no doubt about it. I'm interested to see what he can do. And you know what? He's a price in a race that's absolutely impossible. So I certainly don't want to go with favorites here. I've got the number 5, Tennessee, in second at a price. And another bit of a price, the rail horse number 1, Oscar's World. Got a little bit of a sneaky trip last time at Gulfstream on the Tapeta. Saya is going to save ground. I don't think he's that far off many of these. He's an Oscar performance. I have an Uncle Mo mare. I have a lot of respect for Brian Lynch. I think Oscar's World at 12-1 is interesting. Paul's going 11-6-10, completely different. Paul Halloran is going with full Nelson, hoping to put not a hammerlock on the field, but a full Nelson on the field for you wrestling fans out there. It's Jose D'Angelo, by the way, and Irad Ortiz. Again, Paul's going 11-6-10. The Transylvania, a very difficult race. Let's go to the penultimate leg now of this opening day pick 5. It's race 9, and it's a doozy. It is the Central Bank Ashland. It's for the 3-year-old girls going a mile and a 16th, $600,000, 100 points the winner for the Kentucky Oaks, 50 points for second, 25 for third. This is a major prep for the Kentucky Oaks, and the last one, of course, in the state of Kentucky for the Oaks. You see some very familiar faces here. Field of 8. A lot of horses coming back from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies race at Santa Anita in November. The favorite, though, is a horse that is not coming from that race. A very talented filly for Brad Cox, the number 7, Impel, ridden by Florent Giroux. This horse is 2-1 morning line. Let me bring up the ticker here. If you are looking at this visually, you now see the picks on the bottom of the screen. Paul and I are both going to go with the favorite here, Impel. And folks, this is my best bet of the day, not because of the price. I just think Impel is super talented. She's, I believe, also the morning line favorite, or the anti-post favorite right now for the Kentucky Oaks, which is a month away here. I think she's super talented. I'm going 7-5-6. Paul's going 7-6-1. So we are not getting real cute here in this race. Let me talk about Impel as I go ahead and bring up the PPs for the Ashland. Impel has tactical speed, doesn't have to have the lead, and all she's been doing has been blowing fields out. On New Year's Day, she won easily with an 84 buyer and a 102 time form, going 6 furlongs at Fairgrounds. Last time she was super impressive at Oaklawn. Okay, maybe she didn't face, the toughest horses, but she did it so darn well. Those of you that are on our video platform here, I'm showing the replay. She's the 5. She broke fine. She just stalked. There's really not much to see here other than her just blowing by the long shot there and then holding off some others. And she just did it like in hand. And she just swatted away the rest of the field. I love the way she did it. She did it professionally. I just think she's really good. This is a very, very talented filly. As you can see, she's just getting handwritten here. 111-4 to the 3/4. She takes a few whip taps just to keep her mind on business, but she's in hand late, ears pricked, doing it very well. She's very talented. I'm not messing around. Now, obviously, she's facing some horses that have talent and frankly have a better resume than her. But you know what? I don't know what to make some of these horses that are, coming off the layoff. You have a bunch of horses that are coming from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, including number 6, Just FYI, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies race. You've got, of course, the number 1, Candide, who was in the Juvenile fillies race, who finished 3rd, and the outside horse, Jody's Pride, who did have a prep for this race at Aqueduct, who finished 2nd, excuse me, who, finished 2nd in the Juvenile fillies. I was just not impressed with the Juvenile fillies race overall. Can Jody's Pride, Candide, or Just FYI win? Yes, but 2 of them are coming off layoffs. Jody's Pride just doesn't blow me away, and I'm just not sold on that race right now. So I'm going to go with the Juddmonte filly, Impel. Again, Cox and Drew. I think she's super talented. We might get less than 2-1. We'll just see how they have to bet, especially Just FYI, who is 3-1 in this race. Paul also is going Impel, but he has just FYI 2nd. I do want to mention the number 5, Shimmering Allure at 10-1. This is my price play underneath. The horse that I'd use in reverse, that I'd key in a reverse key trifecta. Kenny McPeak is the trainer. Brian Hernandez. This is the great combination. She ran a lot last year. She ran 8 times. She also ran on January 13th. There's 2 things I really like about Shimmering Allure in this spot. Number 1, there's a lot of question marks in this race with horses coming back. Number 2, there's a decent amount of speed, and she's a closer. And number 3, Kenny McPeak has his horses ready for Kentucky. If you're a fan of this show and you're a fan of the Power Picks tip sheet, you might remember a horse called Power Squeeze, who won the 3-year-old filly race at Gulfstream last weekend. Shimmering Allure, the number 5 at 10-1 in the Ashland, has got a little Power Squeeze feel to me. I don't know if she's going to be good enough. This field is tougher than the Gulfstream Park Oaks, but I really do like Shimmering Allure to make a nice late run on Friday in the Ashland and perhaps get up at a price. Again, I'm going 7-5-1. Paul's going 7-6-1. Let's go ahead and close out the excellent opening day card on Friday. Again, it's going to be cold. The weather, I believe, is going to be fine on Friday. But again, they did get a decent amount of rain these first few days before the meet. So we will see what the turf situation is like. But I believe the dirt should be good, if not fast, of course, depending on the weather. Let's go ahead and talk about the last race, the closeout race of Friday's card. It is on the turf. It is a main special weight, $100,000. They're going a mile and 3/16. It's for the 3-year-old fillies. It is a big field of 12. There's 2 AEs. One of them is an MTO, a main track only, a number 14 Foreseen, who will get in the race if they switch it to dirt. And if they do switch it to dirt, I do expect there to be a decent amount of scratches, although I have no idea who that may be. Let me put the picks on the bottom of the screen right there. Whoops, let me edit that. I meant that to be a ticker. So let me go ahead and switch that so we can see it as a ticker. There you go. I'm going 9-3-4. Paul's going 7-9-12. The morning line favorite here, assuming everything holds together, is the number 7, Missoula, for Clement and Irad, 7-2 morning line. She is an Irish bred. I do not have her anywhere. She can win. I don't know. Not a huge fan of her races at Gulfstream. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Christophe Clement, and I love Irad. But I don't know. This horse didn't do a lot for me. I'm going to go with the number 9 in this race. And as I go ahead and refresh the screen, the turf rails are down, of course, on opening day. So there's plenty of time for them to close. In general, speed does not play well on the turf, especially early in the meet or in the spring when there's some moisture in there. It's very hard to wire fields in the spring at Keeneland. It's very lush. This is completely different than the Gulfstream turf, obviously. I'm going to go with the number 9, Just Deny. Justify Colt out of a Galileo mare, Moving Moon. So there's plenty of turf pedigree, especially on the dam side. She has not raced since Keeneland October last year. But I thought she ran well last year. It's a long layoff, but Gargan has been pointing to this spot. Cost $460,000. Has been working well down in Florida, and I just think a massive improvement is coming. I'm not sure she needs to really improve a lot. She's taking the blinkers off. She was a bit headstrong from what I saw in replays. It's Saez 9-2. I don't see a ton of early speed in this race. I like Just Deny. So does Paul Halloran. He has Just Deny, the 9 in second. Like I said, Paul has the 7, Missoula, who will show some speed most likely for Clement. That's who Paul has on top. The horse I have in second is a very interesting horse. This is a My Racehorse filly trained by Wesley Ward, and that is the number 3, Guinevere, who is listed at 6-1 morning line. I expect her to be a little bit lower than that. She is bred on the dam side out of an Australia mare. Australia was a British bred horse. There's a ton of breeding on the dam side for turf. Justify can obviously get turf horses. He's the hottest sire throughout the world. This filly cost $925,000. She had a lot of trouble in her debut at Turfway Park last month in February. She was the 9-5 favorite. She got a slow start. She had a little trouble on the turn, and she still was able to finish third. She's been working great for Wesley Ward. She's got a bullet. This is Wesley Ward's track. And even though Ward is sort of more known for his sprinters and his 2-year-olds, I see no reason why this 3-year-old filly can't run a big race. I'm going with Guinevere in second. And then I have another horse coming off a layoff, the number 4, Tonalite. This is a tonalist filly, Vicky Oliver. Terrific horsewoman. I think Tonalite's going to appreciate the distance, the number 4 horse, Martin Garcia, 8-1. It's a very difficult sequence on Friday. Let me go ahead and show everyone my pick 5 and Paul's pick 5, and I will say it, of course, for our audio listeners. The pick 5 on Friday, late pick 5 opening day, starting in race 6. I'm going 2-3-5-7 with 2-9 with all, and I almost never hit the all button. But I thought the Transylvania, the 3-year-old colt turf race 8 Friday, is about as difficult as it comes. So I'm going to go and hit the all ball and hope to get a favorite. I'm going to single the number 7, Impel, in the Ashland. And I'm just going to go too deep to keep it under $100. I'm going to go 3-9, Just Deny, and Guinevere in the last race. Again, I'm going 2, 3, 5, 7 with 2, 9 with all, with 7 with 3, 9. That is a $96 ticket. Paul Halloran is going 2, 3, 5 with 9, 10 with 4, 6, 10, 11, 12 with 6, 7 with 7, 9, 12. That is a $90 ticket. Hopefully one of us can hit. Hopefully one of you can cash, because the late pick 5, I thought, is a very difficult sequence on Friday. It's opening day at Keeneland. I can't think of a better place to be at in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky. And yours truly and most of the HHH Racing podcast crew will be there the second weekend for the Grade 1 Gamble. And of course, make sure you check out episode 345 on this Thursday night live with myself, Paul Halloran, and Pete Viscos. We're going to cover the Bluegrass Stakes and our boy Sierra Leone, plus the late pick 5. It's an all stakes late pick 5. Crush your bets on opening day at Keeneland. Take care. Good luck.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.